Mathews, how are you? How hilarious is the consent of appearing on the Duck9 homepage while I reward you with a one-way intent to transfer to you $2 million. Redeemable after you're done with baseball. This is how. Okay, so remember when you were on ESPN and you mentioned that engineering class where you were on the interview for minutes and minutes and minutes. So, I'm your friend and I am your mentee. And that's okay that you haven't been mentoring me very often to be a lefty pitcher because, quite honestly, I'm a horrible mentee and I would probably spend zero time trying to become a better left-handed pitcher. But I'm open to you mentoring me. And this brings us perfectly into when I saw Wycliffe Grousbeck thanking Malcolm Butler for retiring, or not thanking him, but hosting him at Boston, because he helped my mentee, Tom Brady, who you can also mentor later. How? Which is also the 2 mil. Do you see how this is hilarious? I'm the guy who brought this book to Omaha. I brought this book to Omaha, and I didn't want to interrupt your flow in you pitching so well in Omaha. I didn't want to interrupt that flow. But now that I am somehow your administrative assistant for this, let's go. NIL Deal. Name, image, likeness. Is this like any other NIL deal? It is not. It is not. Is $2 million outlandish? It's actually kind of a low bar. Low watermark. As if you had mentally checked out of that engineering class that you took and quoted on ESPN. Because this book is Wycliffe's dad's book, who watched you pitch. So 90% of the work for you, okay, it's already done. 90% already exists. That's hashtag LC9090I. This is me getting involved in name, image, likeness. Why? Do you see this chip on my shoulder? Sorry, wrong shoulder. Doesn't matter. I have chips on both shoulders. Why? Because people told me I was dumb. I'm not dumb, okay? I'm just sometimes slow. This is going to go fast. Stram GT 353. This is $2 million. Let's say it won't not work because you're a student athlete. I forget that I'm talking to a person who has more student, more athlete, and just more brain. Okay, so I'm sorry that I not belittled you, but I talked down to you. Let me talk detailed, which is, I'm going to just bullet point these because it's engineer to engineer. It's science, technology, and society to society, technology, and science. In that order for me. Society, technology, and science. Instead of science, technology, and society. Bullet pointing, no apologies for not seeming perfect because this is a rep. Right on cue. Talking points. At worst, you're going to guest lecture at GSB. At worst. Stram GT 353. Hashtag Stram GT, like strategic management 353. Strategic management 353. This is the book that got me into Stanford for $2. So when I'm saying I'm giving you $2 million, it's kind of going to be probably a lot more, but let's just keep it lowball. So yeah, I'm lowballing you because that's just what I do as a Chinese mentee, is I kind of bring you down to my level of the single-digit millionaire level because I'm sandbagging. This class is Search Fund. Irv Grousbeck teaches it. He knows you. Maybe he doesn't love you, but he definitely knows you because he sits section 6, row 4, seats A and B. 90% of the work for you is already done. 90% already exists. Pen to paper. Thank you for the selfies in Omaha. Thank you for, and this is you're welcome. Search Fund is this. You raise, and I know, 5 minutes, 40 seconds in the video, this video finally starts. Perfect. That's what I'll send you, which is Search Fund. The definition of a search fund is you raise a fund and then you go search for a business. This is a class from the middle 90s, unchanged until the year 2000s, unchanged. Perfect when it shipped. Guess who edited and made that class better? This guy. I'm speechless at how talented I am with money. I'm just speechless. And no, I'm not going to install a Irv Grousbeck building, okay? That'll be somebody else. I already have 3 buildings dedicated to white dudes. The Mark Marquez Center for Students and Athletes, which Bernard Meir hates. Building number 2, Stephen Zumdahl, my chem professor at the University of Illinois. Can you imagine going to the Center for Students and Athletes by Mark Marquez? People will be like, hey, did he start and sell a software company? I didn't know he was rich. That's why I want to name it the Mark Marquez Center for Students and Athletes. Oh my God, look! My visual, look at my prep. Look at my prep. Hey Larry, you should come to Stanford even though the engineering school looks like a country club. Building 3 is a spin out inside of the Mark Marquez Center for Students and Athletes. 3, okay? Mark Marquez Center for Students and Athletes. This actually applies to Search Fund. Building 3 nomenclature. Oh, the problem that we're solving is nobody wants to go to the Larry Chang Center for Entrepreneurship. Like, look at Duck 9. Like, that's my one business. So, the Mark Marquez Center for Students and Athletes is going to have a meeting room just like Huang Engineering has the NVIDIA room. And that room is going to be called the Tom Kosnick Lecture Hall. Oh, the Tom Kosnick Lecture Hall will get forked into its own building. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, mentor Mark Marquez into Augie Garrido. Thank you, Stephen Zumdahl. Stephen Zumdahl! My God, this is how loyal I am, that in every one of my houses, I have duplicate. I took that book, highest starting salary, University of Illinois, which is right on topic for this, because I reached out to Irv Grousbeck at not at the 5-minute 40-second mark. I reached out to him and said, look, I can't believe you're still alive, because that makes you a living legend. And I've thought only of one thing, which is to sit at your feet and study Lecture 11, Chapter 17, because all the other lectures are great. Lecture 11 sucks. Chapter 17, it sucks too. I don't know if I quite said the word sucks. I just said needs improvement. Would it be okay, Professor Irv Grousbeck, Section 6, Row 4, Seat A and B, would it be okay if maybe I came in, sat down, and studied this? Would it be? Put a pin in that, because the value for you is that I came up with a hashtag. Search fund requires you to raise a fund and then go buy a business. You're putting money in danger while buying a business that is in danger, or else they wouldn't be selling it to you, and then hoping to sell that business. And I'm not saying it's danger, 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 but basically I'm saying there could be bankruptcy, there might be bankruptcy, and whoa, maybe bankruptcy. And so Quinn Mathews, what I thought to do was to duck bankruptcy. Holy crap. Almost got hit with a BK. We're not going to get hit with a BK because it turns out I'm DJing Irv Grousbeck's book to a University of Illinois graduate named Mark Andreessen, who's a VC. And you know VCs, they talk pretty, but they're not very detail-minded. Mark Andreessen said, software is eating the world. I believe that software is eating the world more so than Mark Andreessen. Let's bullet point the fork of STRAM GT 353 into CS183E. Now, don't let it intimidate you that I just brought in my mentee, Peter Thiel, into this video. Peter Thiel's gaps have now entered the video. Mark Andreessen's gaps have now entered the video. Irv Grousbeck's gaps have now entered the video. Can you feel that there's going to be a bunch of genius shiitake coming out of my mouth? By the way, I love the fact that you operate in Spanish with your compadres. That's MLB, MLIB cohorts. You don't need money to do search fund. You don't need money to do Irv Grousbeck's class STRAM GT 353. I just gave you $2 million. This is how to collect the money. We run, I can do this as simply as one sentence. We run an external API. Done! Hashtag external API. Done. Done. We don't need to buy the business at risk. Improve the business, maybe bankruptcy, and then sell the business. Dangerous. Because when you try to sell a business, nobody's buying it. Somebody's got to buy a business. Instead, we can merge and acquire shiitake that we don't own. Standing atop the shoulders of three giants, well, Peter Thiel's kind of short. Irv Grousbeck. I'm going to Larry Chang. I'm huge. Peter Thiel. He's little, but he's easy to make fun of. And while we're making fun of him, we can win because hashtag CS183E was shipped way before 9/14/2015. And although these things sound like jokes to you, Quinn Mathews, you realize that I'm a Care Bear. I care. And if you're other people that are listening in, I guess I'll also offer the $2 million. Other people at Stanford baseball. You know what? I'm feeling generous. Everybody. So everybody reach out and thank Quinn Mathews for being such a good friend that I actually came up with this video for him that you get to benefit from, because I'm not sending you a 15-minute, 19-minute video. I'm not. I'm also not going to ask you for will call. In fact, I demand that you not give me will call for your MLB debut, and you just focus on yourself. Not focus on yourself, just focus on your craft. Some examples at the 15-minute mark. Uber, the Uber API, that's me. The Nobu Hotel API, that's me. The Fair Isaac FICO, when I was a baby entrepreneur engineer, that's me. Just legendary external APIs. Where did I get these from? Did I just genius up my 488 IQ points? No, I got an IQ of 88. I got them from Mark McCormack, who did the Senior Golf Tour. What is the Senior Golf Tour? It's an external API to the golf tour. Hashtag external API. External API. Hashtag external API, no space. Text that to me so that way I know that you picked up the $2 million. Senior Golf Tour. Same golfers, same course, same sponsors, same business model, same distribution, same everything. Same everything. Made 280 sticks first year the Senior Golf Tour worked. Didn't even have to sell the franchise. Sold and made that much money. Mark McCormack added one word. Golf Tour, the Pro Golf Tour, he added one word. Senior Golf Tour. That's his franchise. Also, New York Fashion Week. If you wondered why I launched my real book, What They Don't Teach You at Stanford Business School, and then had it debut on New York Fashion Week, that's his franchise. And then asking Marissa Mayer for a favor to make a Google Doodle for 090909, and then link to my book, What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School. I merged and acquired a book from 1983 that came out like 10 years before I was born. Winning while we are winning. These are funny, and these are all true, except for the age stuff. I mean, I learned from my mentor, Tom Brady, in Tom vs. Time, and Gotham Chopra, his documentarian, because I was there at his film screening in Minneapolis, where I asked the question, hey Gotham, do you realize that your book, Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, is just your dad's book? So you see how I juxtapose the two? Gotham Chopra's documentary, Tom vs. Time, and your father, Deepak Chopra's Ageless Body, Timeless Mind, are basically the same thing. I had that as a question. And people thought I was calling him out. That's not calling you out. That's understanding why you're successful. This is also why mentorship and why it breaks down is a thing. So we study buddy this book, and we pick up way more than $2 million using another book. That's it. I mean, let's say it stalls out, which it won't stall out. Then we help a company by practicing on a cadaver, and we duck bankruptcy. This works every time. And we help the company avoid bankruptcy using 5 books. What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School, 4 Steps to the Epiphany, Eric Ries's Lean Startup, Alexander Osteronder's Business Model Generation, and Jeffrey Moore's Cross the Chasm. Basically, what I'm giving you is Stram GT 353, the 5th Epiphany. And this is also my lecture at Harvard called The 5th Epiphany, What Mr. Peabody what Mr. Peabody would mentor you at South by Southwest. I took the time to make it funny. It's the 5 books that help everybody avoid bankruptcy. Do you want me to repeat them? I'll tell you to repeat them. What They Don't Teach at Harvard Business School, 4 Steps to the Epiphany, Eric Reed's Lean Startup, Alexander Ostrander's Business Model Generation, and then Jeffrey Moore's Cross the Chasm. Because all we're doing here is we're crossing the chasm from the right. And these are not jargon words. These are not buzzwords. These are specific words in helping us ace Lecture 11. Collateral, Default, Rope to Choke, which is Chapter 17 of Irv Grausbeck's book, STRAM GT 353, Strategic Management 353, and the 650 hashtags I have for money, which is the leadoff one, which is CS183E. We're editing a piece of turd. Or like Andrew Mason talks about, polishing up our turds and getting super rich. This is what Tom Brady did, not under my guidance and tutelage, but in my awe, which is doing the Hertz Company turnaround. And that's what we're doing. And you're welcome for the $2 million. And let's get to 6.15 Bitcoin, and you'll never need money, but this $2 million we'll just be making for fun. So that way you and I will have done something together. And then when you make that money, you can just keep all of it. Because that's the name, image, Larry deal. Because we're in a selfie. And so Quinn Mathews, I'm telling you, for name, image, Larry, that you're welcome for the 2 mil. And thank you. And thank you. And thank you. And see that I'm thankful. I'm wishing you super well. I'm wishing well wishes from here. Well wishes.